Your wife? Oh, you're looking for me?
You have a speaking role here?
Am I your wife?
Stand with me. Hold me up.
I don't speak. But you'll stand in this environment.
Shelley approved the script. This is entitled Shine. There's a place somewhere that we cannot see where a babe to be born was asked to agree to give herself to a new family, where Shelley, Amy, and I waited anxiously. Amy was lonely, but sisters are fun. Being a mother, Shelley was not done. As for Arturo, he wanted a son. But he is a Zeta, so a daughter did come. Alana was born a daughter redux. She was a cutie. They all said, oh, shucks. True, she was cranky. The cause was reflux. But we all agreed this spa was deluxe. Ilana and Amy, ever closer they grew, sharing childhood together and everything new. With Howard aboard, not to mention the crew, Cara, Finn, and Amy, Ilana did woo. Ilana and Shelley, they're tight as a fist. They chatter by cell, a day rarely missed. And shopping together requires a list. With every goodbye, Shelley gets kissed. My child, my friend, my adorable creature, Red Sox at Fenway, just us in the bleacher. Let's go to Vegas, Selena's the feature. And now that she's grown, Alana's my teacher. Now he greets Sarah, who's new to the scene. She's got a mission to make the world green. As partners together, I truly am keen. They have each other on whom they can lean. So join Harry and Ruth, and Shelley and me. May Ilana and Sarah shine in matrimony.
differentiate for you. My daughter is the pretty one. Well, okay. Now, they're both really beautiful young women, so that doesn't really help you. My daughter is the smart one. No, okay, well, they're both very intelligent and successful young women. So, my daughter's the Jewish one. My daughter is the one who cares about the world around her. Well, that's both of them. She's the one with the blonde highlights. When Sarah was a baby, I wore a suit and tie to work every day, and Ruth dressed for her office. And we had this process whereby we tried to minimize fully dressed parent from baby Sarah. But it was not entirely foolproof. And one day I was in the office in a meeting and I looked down and there on my cuff is a spot. And I started to think back on the events of the day and I realized, this is baby doo-doo. Right there on the cuff of my freshly starched white shirt. So Sarah grew, we had Jenny, we raised our children. And years later, that moment, when I looked down at the spot on my cuff, I realized it just set the course of our parenting. And here's what I learned from that event. You love them, and sometimes you put up with some shit. So this is one of those life events where you get the opportunity to look back on young lives, well lived, with so much promise ahead of them. And here's what I remember. I remember Sarah's first taste of ice cream. And who would have thought that you could bring a child to tears by saying just 2 words, all gone. I remember the kindergarten years when we lived in Los Altos, California. And we would sing her school's alma mater, which I made up. Hail to thee, proud South Peninsula Hebrew days. I remember the Baldwin School years in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, starting the 3rd grade, the tunics, the parties, the homework assignments, the tests, the sports, the plays, all the ingredients that turned a young girl into a young woman. I remember Sarah's bat mitzvah. Let me talk this with you. It turns out that a lot of these people remember Sarah's bat mitzvah. Sarah did an unbelievably good job at her bat mitzvah, in spite of the fact that her father fainted halfway through the service on the beach. And in fact, there are some doctors here who were part of the first responders. It turns out that having on the invitation list a psychiatrist, a gastroenterologist, and a neonatologist is actually a really good thing. Sorry.
Dude, you're lucky you had a 3rd-year magnet student.
I also finally remember the teenage years. Who would have thought that you could bring a child to tears with just 2 words? And to this day, I have no clue what those 2 words actually were. I remember the Baldwin graduation, the Mount Holyoke graduation, the first apartment, the first job, the second job. And I remember one day when Sarah and I were taking a bike ride and we stopped and she said, "Dad, there's something I want to talk to you about." And now I'm a guy that used to wear a suit and tie to work every day, so the whole same-sex thing was a little bit new to me. But then I remember the #1 rule of parenting. We just want our children to be happy. And looking at these two tonight, I know that Shelley and Art and Ruth and I have done a really good job. Please raise your glass and toast. The journey that you have begun today may have some twists and turns, but it is a journey worth taking together to a long and healthy life.